Everyone in the room thought she was just another new recruit, until the general demanded her call sign. And when she finally whispered, Specter 6, even the air seemed to stop moving. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The briefing room at Fort Rainier had never been this quiet. The rain outside lashed against the tall windows like it was trying to warn them of what was about to unfold. Rows of uniformed officers sat straight-backed, their shoulders heavy with medals and years of service. But at the center of it all stood a woman, calm, composed, and unflinchingly steady under the scrutiny of everyone present. Her name was Captain Elena Ward. She looked too young to have seen what her records claimed she had, too calm to have survived what few had returned from. The only sound was the slow ticking of the wall clock as General Harris leaned forward, his sharp blue eyes narrowing. "Captain Ward," he said, voice cold and clipped. "Your file is incomplete, classified beyond my clearance. You served off-grid for 5 years, no trace, no reports, no confirmation of activity. So I'll ask you directly, what was your unit's call sign?" The air tightened. Even the ceiling fan seemed to pause. Elena's fingers twitched at her side. Her throat felt dry. She didn't want to say it. Not here, not now. But she knew running from the past never made it disappear. Finally, she raised her head and spoke just above a whisper. "Specter 6. A few officers shifted uncomfortably. One man in the corner gasped quietly. The general froze. The name carried weight. Ghost stories whispered among soldiers. Myths told in dark barracks about a Black Ops unit so secret even their existence was denied. Spectre team was rumored to have done the impossible. Rescues behind enemy lines. Silent operations no one ever claimed. Missions that didn't officially happen. But 6? That was her. The one they said never made it back. Outside, thunder cracked like an echo from another time. Elena could feel every stare pressing into her. A mixture of disbelief and something else. Fear. Impossible, one colonel muttered. Specter 6 was dead. Elena finished for him, her voice steady. That's what they told everyone. A murmur rippled across the room. General Harris's expression softened, confusion slipping into something that looked almost like respect. "Then tell us," he said quietly. "What really happened to Spectre team?" Elena took a slow breath. For a moment, her eyes seemed distant, as if the walls of the briefing room had melted away and she was somewhere else again. Somewhere hot, dry, and filled with the sound of rotors and gunfire. They'd been sent into the Tarim Valley, a place no map dared mark correctly. The mission: extract 2 humanitarian doctors taken hostage by a rogue militia. Spectre team had done harder jobs before. But that night, everything went wrong. Halfway to the extraction point, their comms went dead. The sky filled with tracer fire. The ground erupted beneath them. "We lost Spectre 3 in the first blast," she said, her voice calm but her hands trembling. "We tried to hold position, but there were too many of them. Command called off the retrieval. They said it was over." Her jaw tightened. But we didn't stop. She could still see their faces, the flash of Sergeant Blake's grin, the defiance in Myra's eyes. They'd fought through 48 hours of chaos, carrying the wounded, rationing their last drops of water, refusing to abandon the doctors. And in the end, when the choppers finally returned, only Elena had walked out alive. The others had stayed behind to buy her time. The general's voice was low. "And you never reported in?" Elena shook her head. "There was nothing to report. Command had already buried us." For a long moment, no one spoke. You could feel it, the weight of guilt in that room. The unspoken understanding of what it meant to lose good people and pretend it never happened. Finally, the general stood. "You said your team didn't stop. Why did you?" Elena met his eyes, and for the first time, the faintest flicker of pain broke through her composure. "Because ghosts don't get to come home, sir." The words hung in the air like smoke. It wasn't defiance. It wasn't bitterness. It was truth, cold and carved out of loss. The general turned away, gripping the edge of the desk. The younger officers looked at Elena differently now, not as some mysterious anomaly, but as a living testament to everything the uniform stood for. "Specter 6, one of them whispered, almost in awe. She could feel tears building behind her eyes, but forced them back. There was no room for sentiment. Not here. But then, the door opened. A man in medical blues stepped inside, holding a folder. He hesitated when he saw her. Captain Ward, she turned slowly that he swallowed hard. You? You don't remember me, do you? Elena frowned. Should I? I was one of the doctors you saved, he said softly. Tarim Valley. The room fell silent again, but this time it wasn't disbelief. It was reverence. The doctor's hands shook as he placed the folder on the desk. Inside were photographs, faces, letters, and a faded picture of 6 soldiers standing together. Elena at the center. We never stopped looking for you, he said. We thought you were gone. Her composure finally cracked. She looked down at the photo, at the ghost who had given her this second chance. I thought I was too, she whispered. The general stepped closer. Captain Ward, he said, his voice heavy with respect. I owe you an apology, and the nation owes you more than that. She shook her head. No, sir. Just remember them. That's all I want. He nodded slowly, and then did something no one expected. He saluted her. The entire room followed. For a moment, the thunder outside seemed to fade, replaced by something quiet and profound, the sound of redemption. Later that night, as the rain eased, Elena stood outside the barracks, staring up at the flag fluttering in the cold wind. She thought of the friends she lost, the lives she saved, and the strange way life had brought her back into the world she'd once left behind. That a young cadet walked by and paused. Ma'am, he said shyly, is it true you were Specter Six? Elena smiled faintly. Depends who's asking. He grinned nervously. Just, thank you, ma'am, for what you did. She nodded. Then promise me something. If you ever have to choose between glory and your team, choose them. He nodded, his eyes wide, and ran off toward the barracks. Elena watched him go, a warmth stirring in her chest. For the first time in years, she didn't feel like a ghost. She felt home, because courage isn't about never breaking. It's about standing up again after you do. And sometimes, the ghosts we carry aren't here to haunt us, but to remind us why we're still alive. That if this story moved you, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that honor courage, sacrifice, and the human spirit. Your support means more than you know.